Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 76 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week, I'm joined, as always, by our producer, Cameron.
Greetings and salutations, friends.
Sure, Spock, whatever it takes. And our special guest this week, Mr. Sangriaz.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, thank you for joining us. We'll do a little bit of an interview in a minute. But if for some reason you don't know who Sangriaz is, we'll go through the whole intro stuff. But we're very, very excited to have him here with us. It's been a long time since the IGS days. So
I was gonna say, has there been like a whole global pandemic in between the last interview?
Yeah, I think like that and a few other things. I think it's been quite a few years. But as always, this show is live on Twitch. I'm going to do our usual spiel. Xbox Hall of Gamers is a place to find us. Come hang out with us in our community. You can come say hi in the chat, talk to us, ask questions, shitpost, correct us on all the mistakes we make. We love it, really. And usually this is where I'd go into a song of the week, but we are recording this early. Oh, we do have someone in the chat. We've got Bulbasaur. Hi, Bulbasaur. How you doing?
Hey, Bulbasaur.
Normally I would have a song of the week here, but we're recording this one nice and early. So I haven't had time to write one yet. So I'll hold out for next week.
What he's trying to say is he hasn't had the opportunity to pay somebody to write a song for him.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't put the song. I haven't put a song into Chat GPT or whatever to come up with a new song for me this week.
We should have done that for this week.
That would have been good, actually.
Write an Xbox Hall of Gamers song in the form of Celine Dion.
Oh no, yeah, no, we don't need that. But Sangriaz, thank you so much for joining us. It's fantastic to have you on. Obviously, as an achievement-based podcast, we're obviously very interested in some of our high rollers, as it were. And you're all the way up there. I mean, you definitely, there was an ongoing joke that you were the first millionaire that Real Gamerscore ever had on. Swiftly forgetting that I was on the show, I think a couple of weeks before you, but that's fine. I'm not upset about that at all. Not a problem at all.
Hey, you try and find New Zealand on the map.
Yeah, that's actually fair. But you're sitting pretty at what, like 7th in the world at this point, right?
Yeah, according to True Achievement, I'm 7th in the world.
There's so many questions I have to ask because there are a lot of reasons why people hunt score and do the things that they do, and people game differently. And, we've had all kinds of guests on for like different reasons and they play for different reasons. But geez, 3 million is absolutely insane. I'm just going to ask you straight up, like what drove you to get to that?
I just like games. I don't know what to say. I've been gaming since I was 7 years old, and I'm just really into games. And one of the things I used to do even before achievements were a thing is that I kept a list of games I finished. Like I saw the ending of, and now this gamer score achievements thing is keeping track of all that for me. So I just concentrate on the playing part, and the scores continuing to rise.
You can say that again. I mean, you've played nearly 4,000 games. It's
crazy. It's crazy. 100% crazy.
I was very much the same, right? It was more that like gamerscore was one of those kind of a good way of keeping track of the games that I completed or played, because that's just how I played games. Do you consider yourself a completionist? Is that something you go for in every game that you play?
That goes. It depends on my mood, actually. It goes
Sure.
in and out. At the very beginning, I was when I first started on the 360, I was trying to complete all the games, and I quickly realized some of them are too hard and I didn't have the capacity. I don't have the skills to complete some of them. So I never got 100% on my gamer tag ever, even in the first few games. So that kind of settled things for me as far as completionists go. I was never going to get 100%. So I'm sitting at like 70%. I think I prefer maybe 60, somewhere between 60 to 70%, but I do try to complete games that I play.
Yeah, no, totally makes sense to me. Cameron doesn't know what we're talking about because I think he's sitting in the 30% or whatever.
Hey,
but
Xbox just what's the meme of like is it Steve Carell just like getting the handshake?
Yeah, the handshake.
Yeah, Xbox just went like, hey, this kid's played a lot of Game Pass games. Here's an Xbox, and I'm just like, what's going on? Completions? No.
Oh god, it just makes me sick.
I mean, like, I would complete games more often, but there's just not enough time in the day.
No, that was actually going to be my next question, Sangriaz, was like, where do you find the time?
Well, before I got married, I was like work, home, game, and the weekend is all gaming. So I have any other hobbies, so that's all I was doing for the most part. And then after I got married, my wife doesn't really like me to game, so it's a bit of a challenge. But
sure. Yep.
But Microsoft come through with the cloud, so I can play at the office during the lunchtime a little bit here and there. I'm trying to find time.
For sure. Yeah, I mean that is the thing. Is like we've all got 24 hours.
Here is Matt taking from the sleep schedule. Just
that's me taking. The sleep schedule comes out every time. It's just
Yeah, my son goes to sleep. I'm starting to game.
Exactly.
Actually, we didn't. Okay, we've got Alex who was on last week, but I missed the opportunity to ask him. How do you cater your gaming around your kids in any way, or?
He's only 2 years old at the moment, so we try to avoid the like YouTube and media stuff.
Yeah, get into
yeah, right.
But ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to play games with my son.
Yeah,
so
sure.
When he's like 4 or 5 years old, I'll start to introduce him a little bit to gaming, and we'll play some co-op games together.
Oh, that's great.
It's on it like I'll get into it later, but like I've been playing Let's Sing Ava with Percy this weekend, and it's like okay. The only reason it was Let's Sing Ava is because it was $19 with the mics. That's the only reason.
That's sure. Look,
that's what I'm trying to convince everybody of, and whether they believe me or not, that's their own.
Look, ABBA's a banger. I love ABBA. I've done ABBA for Song of the Week many times.
Yeah, I mean, like seeing your kid learn Mamma Mia, and that for the first time, and then it just go, it's cute as all hell. It's accessible. That's the only reason I ask is, I know some parents like I guess going back to me, I haven't been able to play Dead Island 2 around her that much because like she knows what zombies are, and I don't know how she knows what zombies are, but it might just be a little bit too high up there.
Yeah.
Speaking of co-op, like you talk about playing a co-op games with your son. Have you thought out like what games you'd want to play or what you'd want to if I know some people are like, hey, the kid will play, or like, have you got a plan, or like, hey, this is what I want to start the kid on, or like
the kid will play with whatever play because I'm telling them what they'll play.
I mean, it's gonna depend on what games are out and when in a few years when I'm about to play with them. But the games like the Let's Sing games and the Just Dance games, I think those are easy ones that we can try.
Sure.
There's stuff like the outright game stuff, like all the movie-based stuff, like Peppa Pig. And if he's into that, I think those would be really great games to try play together.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And here we are just playing them for gamerscore.
Hey, I want to know what happens to Peppa Pig.
I haven't played the new one yet, so
okay. All kidding aside, I would play the before Peppa Pig they did a show called The Big Nights.
I did not know that.
I would play
Cameron, I have to admit to you, Cameron, I don't watch a lot of children's television.
All right, Alex is gonna back me here. I would play the hell out of a Bluey game.
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, like you talk about having sort of a love of gaming. Like what get you started into that? Do you have like a particular like console that you started with? Any sort of particular like genres or series that really sort of stood out to you?
Actually started playing in the arcades.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So my first game was Galaga from
Classic.
Yeah.
Go. I played like Super Mario Brothers, things like that, Donkey Kong, the old games, really old school. So this was in the 1983, so you can imagine. And then my first console was a Nintendo Entertainment System, the Famicom.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, right.
Played a lot of Duck Hunt, um, Kid Icarus, Metroid, all the classic stuff. Still love them. Obviously, they're all Nintendo first party, so they're never going to Xbox. Still love them.
Not officially anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they closed that emulator loophole.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, which
So
is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
I can understand why. But I guess with that too, like, do you what games do you hold the most nostalgia to? Like, do you have any favorites or out of that list?
I answered this, everybody's surprised, but my favorite game is Pac-Man. So
I mean, like it's an arcade classic, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like that. It's like
it's
Galaga, Space
but
Invaders, and Pac-Man.
people don't seem to think that kind of answer from me. They probably expect something like Halo or Forza or
Sure.
something. Yes,
I mean,
Pac-Man is my
you can't beat the classics, really.
correct. You're
Yeah.
right.
No, for sure. And yeah, so I guess that like, does that influence what you play now? I mean, obviously you play everything like most high gamer score people, right? You just kind of just bring in everything that comes in through Game Pass and Games with Gold and sales, right? But is there anything that you kind of like look out for, or like genres that you're like, oh, actually, like I'm super into, like I'm a big JRPG guy myself, and
Yeah,
like Souls likes and that kind of stuff. But yeah,
yeah. Actually, JRPG is also one of my favorite, and platformers.
yep,
Love them. So those, but unfortunately, JRPG games do take a long time to
yeah,
complete. So I have to balance that. But platformers, usually they're especially the indie stuff, they're like maybe 20, 30 minutes, 1 hour. So I like those. I prefer those at these days. And I've been actually playing many of the Kemco JRPG games because they're a little bit bite-sized. They're more like 10 hours long instead of the 40, 50 hours long that
yep,
you expect from like Dragon Quest or Final Fantasies. So
for sure. Gotcha. Oh, that's great. And now obviously, you've kind of taken your sort of gaming knowledge and sort of co-founded Hidden Levels and sort of done guides and a lot more sort of stuff around the edges of video games. How did you get started with that?
I always used to like helping others and getting help from the FAQs and stuff like that. So I started to first write some the kind of guides, text guides for a game facts website, and then just kind of evolve from text to video because video is sometimes easier to follow depending on the game type.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been doing. Just continuing to help others through my video guides.
Yeah, I mean, I've personally used many of them in the past, especially for some of the sort of like the smaller stuff that doesn't have a lot of a lot of people have overlooked or doesn't really have a lot of guide support for it, which is great because there's so often when you're digging in the weeds and looking at kind of stuff that's kind of less popular, doesn't isn't on the main page of Xbox, but potentially is on a good sale or something. They just kind of games just get overlooked. Yeah, so I guess I guess the question now is, you hit your 3 million. Are you going to keep going? Are you how long are you in it for? Because I know that you look at the list of TA and the number of people and their statuses say semi-retired, retired, no longer hunting achievements, etc., etc. Like,
I don't see I don't see how you retire from a hobby, so
Yeah.
Sure.
job. But it's a hobby that I live with for 40 years now. I don't see me stopping. I mean, I might not be playing Xbox, like I might be playing some other platform, but I'll be always be gaming. But
For sure.
and I always say this to others is that like when they see my score, how do you get there? Like just keep playing. There's no way to lose score, so you keep playing and you always gain score, and you'll get to 1,000,000, 100,000, whatever. Eventually, you just need to continue. So I don't
Yeah,
really
for
have
sure. One game at a time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like most of the questions. I think is that's I mean that's that's a lot of gaming. It's a lot of history. It's
What would
yeah, I
you
mean,
say are your most memorable games on Xbox then?
On Xbox, I still remember first time I played Gears of War. I was
Yeah.
quite shocked. The gameplay was really awesome, and the co-op was just amazing. Yeah, so it's just I think it's the first time I ever played the game for like 7, 8 times. So even after I got all the achievement, I kept
sure,
playing
yeah,
co-op, kept playing like together with the friends.
So in terms of like co-op kind of games, I just think of like Gear, like the norm, like the original Gears, like Halo, MCC, and all. That's the kind of stuff when my daughter's old enough with that, I want to introduce her to.
we chainsawing the shit out of things.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
especially Halo.
Yeah,
I feel like everybody needs to experience Halo at one point or another.
No, you can't skip Halo.
What was that? What was that? You skip Halo. Halo.
Sorry.
No, I mean, look.
I'm with you. I love Halo. You can skip Halo. It's fine. It's to be fair. By the time the kid's old enough, Halo probably won't even exist anymore. So,
I mean, you're probably not wrong. All right.
Yeah, by how 343 is handling things, Halo might not be around long with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Halo might not be around for the next couple of years, even. Yeah, exactly. Oh.
It just bums me because like Halo MCC was broken at launch, but like I loved MCC. Like that is I would say my proudest achievements on completions, because I do complete games that I feel like it, would be Halo MCC, Age of Empires 2, and Forza Horizon 4.
It's a good list. It's a good list. It's a good first party list. Make sure you get that check in the mail, eh?
I mean, they already sent me the console and the 12 months alive. Let me go and get the jumper out of the back and see if it still fits, right? Bulbasaur also asked, when you have a long game, what keeps you... I guess that's the question that I have too. Do you... What kind of games do you gravitate towards? Do you game... Like, for example, I will do a project game like Halo MCC or something like that. But I like to keep myself going with smaller games, like your 5 to 10 hours.
Exactly the same way for me. So
yeah,
but sometimes some long game would grab me, and I just keep playing that. Like
just can't put it down.
Justice Chronicles. It's a JRPG game that I just completed a couple days ago, and it's about a 30-hour completion, but and it's very grindy. I just really fell in love with it, and I just kept playing that. I didn't play any other games in between. But there's this, so I have the hidden levels obligations.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I get review codes, and I gotta cover some games. So say I'm playing a very long game that takes like 50, 60 hours, and then I'll have to take some break to play these smaller games, make some guides, and then go back to it. That kind of keeps me motivated to continue for the achievements.
That makes a lot of sense.
Do you...
All right, well, yeah.
I was gonna say, do you... I'm just trying to think how to ask this. In terms of, like, do you see yourself doing more long-term long-form content in the future, or like with the longer games?
Yeah, actually, I'm just uploading a Divine Saga right now. It's about 6 hours long video.
Yeah, right.
another JRPG, and I've been playing a lot of Kemco JRPG lately.
Yeah. I mean, they put out a lot of them. I've got like 6 of them in my backlog.
Yeah.
The only reason I asked is I feel like all the creators at this stage have kind of their own like you get a few of them that focus on more so the quicker completions. I think Welsh is doing some longer completions at the moment.
Great. Yes.
I think it's a good balance between all the content creators that some are going for short and some are going for long.
Yeah, but it's more decided by what codes I get. Because if I got a code, I do have a little bit of I have to gravitate toward making some content.
Sure, of course.
Makes sense. Otherwise, that publisher's not going to send you codes in the future.
Yeah, right.
Completely get it. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sangriaz. It's fantastic to have you along for the episode. We'll keep an eye on the chat for any more questions as they come in. But I think we'll transition over to one of our community questions that I think will probably be relevant to some of our achievement hunting adventures over the years. We've got a question here from a good friend Isaac, Mr. Logic Dad. Says, hey guys, have you ever had 2 or more Xbox paid accounts going at once so you can grind out achievements by yourself? If so, do you still pay for multiple accounts? With the Xbox Cast's April Achievement Challenge going, I've been tempted to upgrade one of my guest accounts to Game Pass Ultimate so I can get a few 2-player achievements on the go, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Thanks for the show. You're welcome, Isaac. Thank you for the question.
My first question is, Isaac, how much are they paying you to plug their podcast here?
Yeah, I was going to say I nearly bleeped them out, but it's fine. They can get read out on this show.
That's fine. I don't know if this is the right way to answer this, but like, I feel like it's generation dependent. I feel like as time has gone on, we've moved away from like the 360 aspect of like double boxing and all that. Like double boxing to me feels like a 360 thing. And maybe an early generation Xbox One thing. I don't know.
I
don't see it prevalent these days.
But I also think that most games that have multiplayer achievements, and like I'm not a big multiplayer guy myself, but most games that have multiplayer achievements are usually only for bigger games that have big communities already. Or, you can, it's like, you can boost it one-on-one in a private match. And so it's like, you just get like one friend and it's like, you don't need to have 8 people to start or, you don't need a 16-player Master of Ceremonies for Rainbow Six Vegas or whatever. Or anything like that, right?
Yep. Actually, I've been double boxing like 1-to-1 with the Guilty Gear Strive and JoJo's All-Star.
Yeah, right.
All-Star, and Game Pass makes things easy because you can cross-play with the PC and the Xbox, with the cloud and the Xbox, things like that. So I don't need a second account. Actually, I'm self-hosting with just one account, and the PC doesn't need a gold to do any stuff. So good stuff.
That is a clever way to do it.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. I haven't done a lot of double boxing. I have done plenty of double boxing back in the past when I've just had lots of old games I need to finish. I mean that's how I got through Lost Planet, for example. Like the multiplayer for that, you can do one-on-one, just set up another console, but you can do that PC as well. These are, I mean, obviously with like the home box stuff, you can potentially double box a lot easier. You don't necessarily have to have a bunch of Game Pass Ultimates, or you don't need to have Xbox Live Gold or anything like that, depending on what the game is. But the PC Game Pass stuff is really smart. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you could definitely do a lot of that relatively easy, especially with like macros and things like that.
See, this is why somebody on my right is number 7 for the one, somebody on my left is number 63.
64.
Okay. Of course I get one off.
Oh, close enough.
Yeah.
At least let me double check. Yeah,
he just knows the tricks. Actually,
64 today.
This is what this episode should be. What are the trick? What are the ways we can get ourselves closer? Gamer score.
Sure. Sangriaz, you got any advice for people hunting score? I mean, obviously you said obviously do things one at a time, break it down bit by bit.
Up and inspiring achievement hunters.
just look at Baby Gamer Sucks account and do all those games.
All right, cool. Watch Martel's Twitch stream. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Done. Yeah, it's just check the front page of TA. They'll put it on right on there.
Yeah.
Probably really super boring. So
yeah, right.
With some of the games that you love, like if you love Halo, Master Chief Collection, play that and mix some of those other games in.
What if I told you I love Abs Animal?
Oh no, no one loves Abs Animal. That's not a game.
They're so cute. There's 16 minutes of prime entertainment.
Okay, can we ban this guy?
exactly. Just block him. Yeah, it's fine. I've been wanting to do it for years, Sangriaz, but it's just I haven't had a good. This is the perfect reason.
Who gave me a platform again? What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we gotta put a stop to this. Unbelievable.
No, but like in all honesty, like what would you say? Like that Game Pass one is a good, I would say, hack on like how to play with yourself. Wording, phrasing.
Play with yourself.
Get gamerscore with yourself.
Other things.
I'm gonna have to mark this as explicit. We're gonna get taken off the air. I do not want to end up on live stream fails. Thank you. But yeah, Isaac, hopefully that answers your question a little bit. Like obviously, yeah, we do a bit of double boxing stuff here and there. I don't do as much multiplayer anymore. But you know, as the games come up, there's always the opportunity. Boosting sessions have always been good. You know, like it's always been like that has been the best feature about TA, in my opinion, is just kind of being able to people who are desperately trying to get achievements, just, you know, getting together and just sharing in the misery of doing, you know, all 50 levels of binary domain or you know, all of Gears of War Japan doing all the horde maps and all that kind of stuff.
And failing that, you start a podcast under the guise of like
trying to recruit people.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the other trick.
Yeah, I just kind of don't do any multiplayer anymore. So
yeah,
I just skip all multiplayer achievements, except for the one-to-ones that I can kind of easily do, or very cool stuff that I can do with a friend or something. But
sure.
Yeah, it's been hard because I'm in Korea and there's a lot of latency sometimes to other parts of the world, and there's not too many Xbox gamers in Asia.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not always easy for me.
Yeah, I mean, even like being in New Zealand and Australia, we run into similar issues, right? Like obviously we probably have more of an Xbox gaming community, but we still deal with that you know 130 ping so often.
It was only like last weekend I felt like I got asked to download Injustice to help out, and there must be region locking or something on some of these old games. Yeah. I know probably the most memorable experience I've ever had was Dead Rising 3's Super Omega, whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah. That DLC. Yeah. 100%. I swear that's region locked. Because that's
it was really
issues.
hard to get it to matches. I remember the invite stuff didn't work well. Had the same issue with what was it? Alien versus Predator AVP. It was they don't say it was region locked, but like you couldn't get into a match with anyone who wasn't anywhere near you. So and that and Guardians of Middle Earth of all things for some reason was region locked. So yeah, I don't know. It's just the kind of weird stuff from the early 360 days is usually the worst.
A lot of weird stuff. Actually, I had a very strange experience about that with the JoJo's Star. Is that I couldn't connect by myself with the same Wi-Fi. I couldn't connect.
Oh, that's not good.
That's a bit shitty.
Sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know how they do it. So obviously, like we said, we're recording this episode a little bit earlier in the week, so we don't have as much time to grab news. But Cameron, is there anything you did find for us this week?
We'll get some bite-sized pieces this week. Dead Island 2 hits an impressive sales milestone in just 3 days. They have sold over 1 million copies. Which you think after what, like...
9 years?
Yeah, after 9 years, at least it's doing well. Like this could have easily just been something that they just put out there, dumped to the side, and then I would say it's the most 7 out of 10 game I've ever played. I say that as a compliment. Like, I am quite happy to see Like, I look, I still believe that Dead Island 1 is better, but it has that 360 days kind of game charm to it. Of this is a sandbox. You're gonna throw some zombies at you. Except for the butchers. I fucking hate the butchers. Absolute worst. You're gonna throw some zombies at you. Gonna give you some tasks to do. Pretty damn simple. Except for the one glitched achievement I now have that I have to probably start a nuke. Yeah, combat just broke for me. Challenges.
Oh, that's good.
And it's the one thing that you can't reset on your exploration challenges and all that reset with different slayers.
Right.
So it's a new game, like delete the save situation.
Okay, cool. So I might wait on that one a little bit.
I'm hoping it just patches and then the achievement just unlocks because I'm like on tier 4 for most of these things. But yeah, it's good to see it's getting good reviews. I do believe it is a really good game. I hope that we're not waiting 7 years for the DLC story to come out.
I've heard it ends on like a cliffhanger with like sequel bait, and they want to do some more.
100% sequel bait. I just hope it is a quicker season pass than we're gonna wait a year and drop this content. But hey, it's done pretty well for itself. So I reckon, Dan Buster is probably gonna try and milk it in a good way.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Sangriaz, are you playing any sort of are you looking at like recent releases for stuff, or are you interested in this kind of stuff, or like what are you thinking?
I didn't really like that Dead Island 1, so I'm
neither.
Probably not going to play this until much later. But yeah, I've been looking at some recent releases like the Last Case of Benedict Fox coming out tomorrow.
Yep.
Very much forward to that. Sherlock Holmes Awake. I love point and click adventure games, so that's another game that I have installed, but I haven't played it yet. I've been quite busy the last week, so I haven't had the chance to try it yet. But yes, a lot of cool games coming out. And today, the game called Mangavania came out. It's a small indie game, but it's a kind of Metrovania style, but level based. So it's just one level, 20 levels, and very mini Metroidvania style.
Sure.
So it takes about 40 minutes to complete, and so that one I want to recommend. It's really cool.
Oh, great.
Honestly, like this release period here has been absolutely crazy. Like going all the way from Minecraft Legends. I reckon like Minecraft Legends up until like Redfall at least is going to be pretty good. And then you got like Jedi Survivor chucked in there.
Yeah, Jedi Survivor, which I'm definitely going to, that's what, Thursday or Friday?
Yeah, 2 days away, yeah.
Yes, I'm definitely going to pick that up. Yeah, I'm glad that Dead Island 2 is doing well after all this time. I'm definitely going to be like a wait till it comes to Game Pass kind of thing, because it definitely will at some stage, right? I think that's the kind of game it is.
Or it'll be one of those games that gets man, I picked up Gotham Knights for like $9 on the weekend.
Yeah, right.
Just wait. And that was what, October? 6 months?
Yeah.
Wait 6 months and you'll be paying pennies.
Plenty of other stuff to play in the meantime.
Yeah. The other thing too that I want to check out, Inscription.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
I feel like everything else is just kind of like flooded it out, and I really want to play it because of Jake.
Yeah, Inscription's fantastic game. His previous game, Pony Island, is also quite good as well.
Yeah.
You heard us thinking about Armored Core 6 here, Cameron.
Yeah, so TA put out an article saying that there is a rumored release date set for August.
Okay.
Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon will be apparently launching. It has been given an age rating in South Korea, suggesting that From Software's next game was getting ready for launch. However, a new report also claims that Armored Core 6 will launch this summer. You know what? I hate any trailer that uses summer, winter, autumn. Like it uses any season. You give a month. You do not confuse me with the goddamn. Like what?
It's,
Are we talking Norma? Are we talking Southern Hemisphere? I don't know.
They're always talking Northern.
I know, but like, it's like the one thing that I just wish trailers could be really consistent on, is just have a month.
Well, the rumor is August 25th. I mean, I'm interested to see this. I mean, like I like Armored Core as a concept, as an achievement list, not so much. The games are a little bit ridiculous when it comes to that.
Launching at Gamescom.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have a booth at Gamescom. That'd be cool to check out.
But you know, I like From Software, so I'll probably give it a look. I don't know. Sangriaz, have you played any of the like Armored Core games? I know like obviously you've got a long history of video games. I mean, Armored Core was back in like the PlayStation 1 days. Even.
Yeah, I played it on the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. I played a little bit at that time. But when it came to Xbox, I didn't play that version. I don't know if I want to play this new one yet. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence as well, because I mean, I really enjoyed the PlayStation 1 back when I was a kid, but like, it's been a long time.
It's just Dark Souls with robots, right?
No, it is not. It's not.
Somebody's gonna get really angry at me for saying that.
They literally have come out and said that it is not a conscious effort to emulate the winnings Dark Souls formula. Although Dark Souls with robots does sound pretty good. I'd play that.
100%. You know what? We need Dark Souls with robots with
That's the Surge, basically.
I had a good idea going for a second there and just totally shat on it.
I mean, the Surge has 2 games. They have a sequel. They got the fighting the robots bit down. I mean, you're like in a mech or whatever, but like, you know.
Yeah. You know, Armored Core just needs to be Titanfall. That's all it needs to be for me.
I mean, we don't really have a lot of mecha games anymore, especially not on the Xbox.
I mean, the last thing that I played would have been what's that free to play? That's like a Hawken. Easy completion, yeah. It's just it scratched enough of the itch that goes, I want Titanfall free, but
yeah, well, we know that's not happening anymore.
It's been too long. Yeah.
And then apparently there's some mystery project that Xbox working on as well.
All right, cool. So VGC article that came out, I think a day or two ago. Oh, actually 5 days ago. Sorry. As spotted by Axios, Stephen Totillo, the game, a Xbox mystery sequel that could take 10 years to make, was spotted in the ongoing legal challenge between the self-identified gamers that are trying to block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a lot. I don't know. I mean,
all right.
Obviously they're working on sequels. So I think that Microsoft have had a lot of potential. Like Xbox have had a lot of potential. Like they've acquired so many studios. They're obviously working on a lot of different games. But I don't know. Like, do we have any guesses for what could take them 10 years to make?
Banjo-Kazooie.
I don't think Banjo-Kazooie is going to be like a Beyond Good and Evil 2 level of...
I can be hopeful. I can wish to the end of time that we get a Banjo-Kazooie sequel. It won't ever happen.
What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. They have so many. They have so many that they got through acquisitions. They've always had stuff that.
Look, if 2 out of 3 hosts agree that it has to happen.
Rare's too busy making they're making their Eventide game, which feels like it's taken like 10 years for them to make.
Everwild, isn't it?
Everwild, not Eventide. Yeah, Everwild. You're right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, apparently they restarted that because they didn't understand the scope of it, I believe.
Yeah,
that was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 6 months ago. So I'm interested to see if we see anything about that.
All right, is it okay? So, where do I go with this? At one point, the document explains that AAA games can take a long time to make, using Halo Infinite as an example, though the length and cost of development is redacted. It then says, for instance, according to one Microsoft executive, Redacted, a forthcoming title from the Redacted franchise, may take a decade to develop. Now, it goes on to it's not clear that whether this is a completely new game that has been announced or something players already know about, such as Elder Scrolls 6, which was announced at E3 2018 and therefore seemingly at least 5 years into development. I could 100% see it being Elder Scrolls 6. I could 100% see it being
Fallout 5.
Yeah, Fallout. I was going to say Fallout. I blanked on it for a second there. I could 100% see it even being Perfect Dark.
Ooh.
Perfect Dark.
I mean, they have said that that's their quad A game, right? That's their big hitter that they're putting a lot of eggs into that basket.
Do we like? It depends. Like they might not be going from a. They might be going from a concept to a final like delivery kind of thing. And I would 100% believe that, you know, back at the end of the Xbox One generation, they would have been talking about it.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. I mean, I personally think it's probably going to be, I'm going to guess Fallout would probably make the most sense. I think what Todd Howard came out recently and kind of said that they were going to work on it. They were going to say, okay, once Starfield's done, then we're going to work on Elder Scrolls, then we're going to do Fallout. And they were like, it's going to be like 2035 or something.
Apparently they were doing like level design scouting in like, I think New York or something 6 months, a year ago. I remember seeing an article.
I could see it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, like Sangriaz, like, do we have any pipe dreams of anything that we desperately want them to be bringing out?
Yeah, I mean, I want them to bring back like Viva Pinata, but it's I don't think that's a 10-year project.
Can you imagine a 10-year like Viva Pinata comes out? We've been working on this for 10 years. It's the biggest garden you've ever seen.
That would be crazy.
It'd be like it's No Man's Sky, but they're all pinatas, and it's all incestuous.
And another is actually this is a very old Microsoft franchise, and I rarely play sports games, but I'm very much into golf, and I would like them to bring back Microsoft Links with their new technology.
Wow. Yeah, that would be great. Man, I haven't thought about that in a long time.
You know what? Fable.
Actually, yeah, Fable actually might be the right answer, because considering how long has it been since we've had a Fable game? It's been in some form of development or another, right? Since Lionhead got shut down.
What was the last one? 3 or Anniversary or?
Well, because 3, they had the one that fully got released, I think, was 3, right? But they also had what was it?
Live stuff. I think.
Yeah, they had that like Journey or Fable Journey was the Connect one they did, and then they had that like
Fortune.
Yeah,
in 2017, 2018, something like that.
Yeah, the one that never came out, right? It got cancelled or whatever when Lionhead got shut down.
Didn't I do Fable Fortune? What game am I thinking of? What card game am I thinking of?
Or was it Fable? No, Fable Fortune I think did come out. Sorry, it was like Fable Legends or something.
Yeah, one of them got cancelled, which was like the multiplayer one.
Yeah, that was the one, the squad-based one that Lionhead was working on. I think that was the last time we heard from anything, and that was back in the...
Yeah, because they mistreated Lionhead, yeah?
I mean...
It was back when Xbox didn't know how to...
It was also Peter Molyneux promising all kinds of bullshit every time he went on stage, and the developers were just like, what the fuck are you saying? Because they're like, we didn't talk about any of this. And Peter Molyneux's like, yeah, you can plant an acorn and then come back later, it turns into a tree. And someone's like, I don't have 6 months of dev time to make that. That's not a thing.
All right. So I looked up a list of Xbox's most iconic franchises.
Yeah.
This is an article from 2020, August 2020. Going from the least, from like the most recent at this time to the oldest. Battletoads had just released.
Yep.
Microsoft Flight Sim had just released on PC. Ori had released Will of the Wisp 5 months prior.
Yep.
Crackdown, Forza Motorsport, State of Decay, Halo was back in 2015.
Yeah, so it'll be none of those.
Killer Instinct. Then 7 to 15 years, Fable. At that point of writing was 9 years and 10 months. Blue Dragon.
Yeah, that's not going to happen to JRPG, unfortunately. It's much. I enjoy Blue Dragon; it's a good game, but
I don't see them doing JRPGs unless it would be a third party kind of situation. I don't see them doing first party. Minecraft, Banjo-Kazooie, Viva Pinata, Lost Odyssey, Project Gotham Racing.
Yeah, I don't think they own the rights to that anymore, though.
Yeah. Fusion Frenzy.
Okay. Yeah, can you imagine it being like Fusion Frenzy 3? They're just like, yeah, it's our Mario Party. This is what you've all been waiting for.
10-year dev cycle for Fusion. Yeah, I mean, not happening.
The original, what Bill Gates said his favorite game was the original Fusion Frenzy back when the Xbox first launched. So
releasing April 1st, 2033.
Yeah, exactly. Has the hardest achievement list of all time.
All right, Perfect Dark.
Yeah, Perfect Dark is maybe because
Perfect Dark, I believe, is like in the could be kind of camp. Age of Empires, we already know that would ever since this article,
4 came out. Yeah.
God, give me Age of Mythology already. I will be.
I mean, that's going to happen, right? Yeah.
I know. I just want it so bad. Conquer.
Yeah, maybe, but
not for 10 years. It's not going to take 10 years to make Conquer. Phantom Dust.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. They did. Did they do? Oh, they did a remake in 2017. Okay.
Phantom Dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought it back out.
Mech Assault.
I mean, they do bring those out. The Mech Assault 5's already out.
Yeah. What else? Blinks, Voodoo, Vince, and Crimson Skies.
Yeah, like again, none of those are like big projects, right? So I think that I think we're talking about Bethesda projects here, to be honest.
It's Bethesda if it's Perfect Dark. It's or Fable.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if Fable was a 10-year dev cycle, but they might be going like fucking. If I wanted to bet on any developer, I would be betting on Playground.
Yeah, I could see it. All right.
But yeah.
And then we'll just do this last one. There's been some talk around Hi-Fi Rush, which has been kind of sort of permeating the internet. Now again, we are like, this is all kind of a bit of speculation and rumor stuff, but everyone is talking about it, so we'd be remiss not to mention it. But Jeff Grubb, on one of his mini shows, basically came out and said that again, for those who don't know, Jeff Grubb, he deals in a lot of sort of rumors and sort of inside industry stuff, and talked about how apparently Hi-Fi Rush, which is Tango Gameworks' sort of surprise hit that came out earlier this year out of nowhere, apparently wasn't doing the kind of the sales numbers that were kind of expected of it, and that Tango was kind of in a bit of a rough position. Which is interesting, because I don't know if you guys remember, but like back in January when it released, right, people were like, that's all people were talking about was how good this game was.
Bright, colorful. Man, you know what this actually makes me think of? What if Sunset Overdrive had released day one into Game Pass?
I'm sure it would have done great. I mean, it did do pretty well though, but not super well.
It didn't do well enough for them to
get a sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, did any of us play Hi-Fi Rush?
I've played a little bit because I want to have those experiences. It's a great game. The only it is a great game. It is not a great achievement hunting game.
Sure.
But I think achievement hunters would be amiss if they didn't at least do one playthrough on an alt tag or something like that, just to experience it, especially when we have had such a a drought of first party games for so long. I'm not not counting Deathloop and Ghostwire, obviously.
Yeah, right. Sangriaz, did you get a chance to play it?
Yeah, I played a little bit of Hi-Fi Rush myself. Played a couple of chapters, and it's a really good game. I really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of what I was hearing from everyone I spoke to who played it, right? Everyone was like, looks great, plays great, love the style, really cool that it just launched out of nowhere.
Didn't have
Tango
to pay
Gameworks have exactly, Game Pass. And obviously Tango have done some great stuff. I mean, Evil Within 2 especially is one of my favorites. One I like a lot. I mean, there are parts of it that I'm not a huge fan of, but Ghostwire Tokyo is a bit of a miss, but yeah, this looks like kind of just like a really cool, interesting game that just kind of came out of nowhere that you just don't kind of see this kind of stuff all that often.
You know what? This is the kind of game too I would go out and buy like a special or a deluxe edition of.
Sure.
Just
yeah.
like if it had the right stuff.
It has a cool statue and a soundtrack and that kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Even on Steam, it was doing really high actually.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned it. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so Jeff basically said that it failed to meet sales expectations and then didn't make the money it needed to make. Apparently, is what he heard. And again, like, so don't want to take any of that as gospel. He's talking about rumors. He's talking about like inside industry stuff. So he's not always on the money.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because actually the interesting, I mean, it kind of spread everywhere, and everyone was kind of talking about how how this was how Game Pass was the death of video games, and this is the kind of thing that ruining everything. And it got so bad that like Aaron Greenberg actually came out and responded to it directly, which is very unusual because most times companies just ignore this kind of stuff. And he came out on Twitter and basically said the Hi-Fi Rush was the breakout hit for us and our players in all key metrics and expectations. We couldn't be happier with the team at Tango Gameworks with this surprise release.
I mean, the game just came out with no marketing and just launched into. I don't know what kind of sales expectation they had.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like I don't
understand the comment itself.
It's a sleeper cult hit, right? Like obviously when there was, like you said, no marketing behind it. It was a shadow drop day one onto Game Pass that no one was expecting from a big studio that they've acquired. Like I don't think anyone could have seen this coming. So like, who knows? I mean, I'm inclined to agree with Greenberg. I mean, he obviously knows the numbers, and even though he is the head of their marketing department, and as a marketer myself, I know how to spin some bullshit. But this is the kind of thing that like you just like if it's true, you don't comment on it, and if it's not true, you come out and deny it.
Which is what he's done.
Exactly. So
It's made me think back of like back at the end of year showcase and all that kind of stuff when we had like no Xbox stuff. The only thing I don't like about this is the fact that Aaron has to comment when Xbox gets painted in a negative light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if this is it just makes me think of like who Grub Source was for this. Because I doubt. To me, this doesn't seem like Aaron's twisting words or anything to paint.
It seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like this game was never going to be a big seller because it was like it's a Game Pass game, right? Like they very much put it on Game Pass day one. They knew they weren't going to get a lot of people buying it unless they're on Steam. Like this is a tool to get views, to drive Game Pass subscriptions, to get people onto the service who aren't already on it, and to make sure that people who are on it have something to play and are happy with it.
And I think releases like this, like if we had like a quality, I would say this is a quality AA title. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, like even if it is a AAA studio,
it's a high quality smaller release.
Yeah, if Xbox has a future where we get a few of these sprinkled in, is a surprise. Like that showcase back in January was amazing. I don't think Xbox has ever been that strong, like going, all right, this is communications with the developers. Like at that stage, we had no idea what Minecraft Legends was. Yeah, we had been showed a trailer in the middle of the year. Yeah. We were kind of just all scratching our heads, just going like, all right, yeah, it looks pretty, but what is it?
Yeah, true.
And then to have this dropped alongside, like, I would say everything in that showcase has been a bang on hit except for Forza Motorsport. And that's only because of not still having a release date.
It's also not out yet. Yeah, exactly. But the rumors are October for that. And so I guess the other bit was that like another part of the discussion that's also kind of been lost in this is, Jeff saying that like Microsoft are looking at like they're not super happy at the state of Xbox. And there was kind of rumors about like having some clear outs or, like some redundancies. And obviously, we're in an economic downturn at the moment. There are definitely a lot of redundancies in the tech sector. Microsoft is a tech company at the end of the day. So it's not wouldn't be super surprising. I don't know. Like, I guess this is kind of just my question before we move on. Yeah.
Those comments came a few weeks ago, right?
No, this was in the same sort of discussion.
Oh, the same discussion. Okay.
Same discussion. He later in the show, he basically said that like, hey, like they're looking to potentially like do some things with the management.
Yeah.
Again, rumors, insider knowledge, not public or anything like that. So I take it with a grain of salt. But I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess it's just kind of before we move on. Like, do we have any thoughts about like where Xbox are at the moment? Like, are we happy with what they've been doing? Are we happy with their output? Like, what do you guys think?
I've got 2 comments for that, unless Sangriaz wants to go first.
Yeah, actually, Sangriaz, let's I don't know. We'll talk to you. I mean, obviously, you play everything, so you obviously have a bit of an understanding of kind of what's coming out.
Yeah, as far as the first party goes, I don't know what they're doing, to be honest. Some of them Redfall is not getting great first impression, or sometimes it is, and then they announce it's a 30 frame thing, and people are super excited about it. Don't know what they're doing with some of those stuff, and then Forza still have no release date. I think they should give some kind of window at least, like it's coming October, fall. I know you don't like
fall, exactly. Yeah, a season. Put a season on it,
or whatever. Something. I think we need that. Like, so I don't know what they're doing.
They did say they're in polishing stage, but that's essentially been it.
Yeah.
Like polishing, like a Duke Nukem Forever stuff for like 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going out to get the, you know.
They have to get all the Craigs out of it.
And the Game Pass stuff, I don't know. It looks like they changed their strategy a little bit this year. They smaller number of games, but higher quality games. Is that necessarily better? I don't know. So yeah, I just need a little bit of transparency and clarity. I'm actually talking to Microsoft guys as previously Xbox MVP and then now the Xbox Ambassador Champion, but I don't even know what they're doing. So rest of the public, I think, know even less than that. So it's not. I don't know what to say. Hope they do more events like the January event. Maybe once every quarter, every couple of months. I don't know. They need to do something.
Yeah, I definitely feel like they have a perception problem at the moment, and also like a reality problem, right? They're not putting out as many first-party releases as they need to be to actually be keeping up with their competitors. Cameron, what were your thoughts?
The 2 points I was going to make is back to that thing about leadership and all that kind of stuff. I kind of see that stuff already happening with like Bonnie Ross.
343 in particular, right? They kind of got gutted in terms of people leaving and that kind of stuff.
It's hard though, because like, all right, VGC at the moment had an article that came out yesterday, which is Microsoft has reported its second best Q3 for Xbox revenue. So I don't think like, doom and gloom was selling off Xbox, that kind of discussion. But I don't know. I'm a bit torn. I kind of feel like during the COVID, it might have been because of the COVID period, more people being online, that kind of stuff. We might have just had better access to games because there was more people in subscription, more reason to bump it up.
I mean, that's kind of where we're seeing drop-offs across the board, right? Is when you do year on year with like, hey, everyone was stuck inside in quarantine playing video games all the time. Suddenly people are going back to work, our numbers dropped. Like, that's not really a surprise.
But it's like an anecdotal kind of thing too. Like, I might say like last year to me, Game Pass felt stronger.
Sure.
But like, what am I comparing that to this year? We still had I've had some really good games I've played at Game Pass this year, but it's not been my main focus.
Sure.
But at the same time, I know in the achievement hunting community, there's people that all valid games. There's been like even great games like Bug Snacks leaving this month. To me, I think that, I don't know, like these last 2 weeks, I would say the quality of Game Pass games being added is really up there. But like if I think back to January and that before the event, it was a long window of us essentially not knowing what was coming, And then I know a lot of that early January discussion was like, what are they doing? There was nothing shown at there's nothing shown in the Game Awards. There's been nothing announced now. They've missed their usual window on a Tuesday for when they drop games. And a lot of people were just scratching their heads, like, it's been a good month of, nothing's been added. Why would I continue the service? Especially for the casual gamers too. Like the gamers that just want to go in and just, they're not worried about achievements. They just want to go in, play a game, and they, experience these titles just from I'm just going to do one playthrough or go in, play a few matches, see if it, sticks with me.
Yeah, the kind of people who, go out and went and got the sort of the Series S and just kind of have that as their kind of basic streaming console, right? And Game Pass is their main way they get their games. Yeah, I definitely see that.
Yeah. But I think I think like early Jan compared to the rest of the year, we've been pretty decent. There have been some like periods where I've kind of been like, yeah, but like you had stronger games last year.
Yeah, it's a decent, but because the lower number of games, you look at, for example, second half of March, you have a MLB show and another sports game. So if you're not into the sports games, you have nothing to play there. Like early January, we had like Persona 3, 4, 5, and then
which is like that's right up my alley. Like Persona 5 was, my near at the top of my game of the year last year. And I blitzed through 3 and 4 since they've come out.
See, that's the other thing for me. Like, I won't typically play a game like Persona just because of the time sink that it is. And I think a lot of games lately we've been having, like, there's a caveat. Yeah, there's like it's a 200-hour kind of game, or it's a 100-hour kind of game.
Sure,
it's a sports style, which I'll just, last year's rendition is the same game. I'm not gonna. They haven't reinvented hockey between last year and this year.
So it's like I don't know. The Microsoft just can't seem to please. Like they put like all the AAA stuff, and some people are complaining that there's only.
It's hard. Like they
can't win.
Yeah. And this is the thing. People are always going to poke holes into the arguments who will say like, this isn't for me, or I'm surprised that we haven't had like, oh, but PlayStation got this month, like with their subscription service the same way we have Games of Gold.
Yeah, I guess so, but I feel like that PlayStation stuff is just not competing on the same level, especially in the AAA space. And I think that's really the key thing, is that Microsoft have made that commitment to bring out their AAA games day one on Game Pass, whereas Sony haven't. But Sony are still bringing out their God of Wars and Horizon Zero Dawns and all that kind of stuff, right? Where it's they've and like Ratchet and Clanks and Spider-Man and those kind of big budget AAA games. And Microsoft, and again, that's the stuff that gets headlines. That's the stuff that you sell in bundles. And Microsoft is not, that doesn't, they know this. They know that they're falling behind in this area, right? And they're trying to make up for it by doing a lot of deals. And they're also trying to make up for it by buying Activision Blizzard. Like there's a big well for them to tap into in terms of like making that stuff first party.
Maybe that's why this year feels a little lackluster. Like these deals are done like months in advance at the very least.
Yeah.
It would seem like, at least. Maybe it is just a case of like Activision Blizzard didn't go through when they were hoping to, and we haven't had that content flood. Like we may just have a massive content flood come through when it finally does close.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I feel like they'll probably space it out a little bit, but it'll be a good news story for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just quickly sort of touch on what we've been playing before we wrap up the show here. Like I said, we're doing the show early, so I haven't got a huge amount. But I've been playing some more Ni no Kuni, which I'm really enjoying. It's it's a beautiful game. It is like I said, I don't really have too much more to say about it. I finally collected like the third character, and I've kind of got my party of familiars together and kind of made some progress. I don't know how far I am through the game because JRPGs do tend to go on for a while, but I'll say I've got a boat. I've just got a boat, so things seem to be.
You started singing?
No, I mean I'm always singing, but
all right, next week's song is "I'm on a Boat."
I will think about it. But no, it's good. It's good. I like it a lot. And I know that, like I said last week, I know I'm gonna run into that grind at the end where I need to level up a shitload of familiars and evolve them in that sort of Pokemon way, which is kind of like, oh great, okay, not really looking forward to that. But that's fine. You know, it's kind of my like go-to like project game. I just kind of chip away at when I have time.
I'm curious. After you finish Ni no Kuni, are you gonna go straight to the second one, or
probably?
Like, do you want to continue?
We'll see how burnt out I am. I don't know. I mean, it depends on like kind of, but when I finish it, and also like how far away it is, because those JRPGs do tend to be on like a 1 year cycle.
Yeah.
And so like the last thing you want to do is to get to, you know, because I think Ni no Kuni came out more like September this year, I think, or last year. Like I don't want to get to, you know, I don't want to get to August and be like, oh shit, I haven't finished it yet. I'm going to suddenly rush and do 50 hours in a week.
Yep.
So I'm trying to space it out just a little bit. I'm trying to get ahead of the curve.
Treat it like a project kind of game.
Yeah, it is definitely my sort of longer project game. I know it's like a 100-hour game, so that's fine.
I just find it interesting, like that it's not having the same effect on you as like Persona or Danganronpa or like
but Persona was was
look, incredible. I know Persona in terms of quality is like up there, like massively up there, but like even Danganronpa, even like those level of games.
Yeah, I think but I think the key things in those games that I really enjoy is the narrative in a lot of ways, and I feel like that while I enjoy, I mean, it was made by Level 5 and Ghibli, right? So it is a Ghibli movie, and I'm enjoying it, but it's very twee, like it's very like fairy tale, light touch. It's cute, and I like it, and the art style is brilliant, and the voice acting is good, and the combat's quite good. And I am enjoying my playthrough of it. I just haven't like sat down and rushed through it yet, but also because I've been playing other stuff as well. I got Destroy All Humans done on PC. That was relatively straightforward. I also did Umurangi Generations, which is that weird photography game that's like an hour and a half. It's okay. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that. But the main thing I've been playing is the Ascent. So a lot of people have been kind of going back to this, and people are thinking that it might be leaving Game Pass sort of mid-year. So I figured I should probably jump on. It's taken me, you know, a year and a half or whatever to kind of get back to it. But yeah, it's really good. So I went through, played it all the way through, completely finished it. It took me, I think, about 20 hours with the DLC included. Played it through on easy, did it solo. So I only had one real issue with an achievement. I had to kind of switch characters and switch back and unlocked, and I was a bit worried, but it was fine. But yeah, really, really good sort of twin stick shooter. Twin stick shooter, light action RPG kind of thing, you know, with some light action elements with a few abilities and that kind of stuff. Definitely would be more fun in co-op. I like the environments, and again, this is stuff people have already said, right? But the environments are really, really great. Like I love the world that they've built. It feels like really gritty and really dense for a game that doesn't actually have a lot of depth to the game itself. It's very much like point the enemy, shoot at the enemy, use abilities on enemies, go and do a fetch quest, talk to people, get a bit of narrative. But they've obviously put a lot of love into this game, and you know, ends on a cliffhanger. They could definitely do a sequel. I definitely play it. Definitely recommend it. I think it's great. I mean, yeah, it does have some buggy stuff in the achievements. I was quitting out of the game before the end of every mission just to make sure that I could delete my save in case I didn't get the achievement or whatever. But yeah, really, really good. So I definitely recommend it.
The one thing that I still to this day, I want that PC port for first person mode on consoles so bad.
Oh yeah, right. First person mode would be really good.
Like,
yeah.
The level of detail that game has for an indie title is like, I would say it's even a AA title, the level of quality. I need to go back to it myself. Just the amount of issues that I've had with the co-op and that when I was doing it with Keo and Lee. I want to get it done, but then at the same time, it's gonna.
It plays just fine solo, right? And like, it's not a particularly difficult game. Like, I definitely died a few times, but there's an achievement for dying 100 times, and I had to go out of my way to get it. So just to give you an idea of like difficulty. But anyway, that's kind of all I've been working on. I'm going to be doing more Ni no Kuni. I'm kind of looking for my next Game Pass fix, trying to figure out like what I want to play. Thinking about maybe doing like Moon Scars or Ghost Song or something like a Metroidvania. Age of Empires 2 is like a whole. That's I don't have 200 hours for that.
You need you do if you're doing Ni no Kuni.
Well, yeah, exactly. I can't do that and Ni no Kuni at the same time.
Okay. I want you to do a project game. I feel like Forza was a really good project game for you last year.
That's like, yeah.
You still need to get Eliminator done, but like
still got to get the Eliminator done. I cannot beat the fucking Eliminator.
It's the one. It's the one thing, but I feel like you need like a really good like project game that you can just work on in the background.
Yeah, I've got my play later list, so I'm about to hit. Was it 2.1 million? I think. So I've got my sort of milestone lined up for that. 2.2. Sorry, my 2.2. I'm losing track.
Everything just
sorry. Yes, sorry. 2.2 is correct. I've got my 2. I'm at 2.193. So I've got about 6,000 more score to kind of get, and so I'm going to try and hit it on. I'm thinking I'm doing a Paw Patrol game or something for my 2.2, just because every milestone's got to be some weird baby game.
You know, it's crazy. Redemption will probably hit 4 mil this year.
Yeah, he definitely will. But anyway, that's all for me. Sangriaz, what have you been working on recently?
Oh, I already mentioned Justice Chronicles. I finished that. That was like my main game for most of this week. Esports Life Tycoon. They came out with the method. I don't know if you saw it. Weird method. You press Y and achievements unlock.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Okay, that's good to know.
Which one was this for?
Right, so Esports Life Tycoon. This is a game that came out 3 years ago.
Okay, so I was in a party with Young Shan or Kiku the other day, and he's just like, "Oh, you remember this game that you bought me like a while ago?" Yeah, I'm just playing it today. I'm like, that's sus. Why are you playing an esports game of all things? And then I just started seeing like all right, cool. People have found the dev menu. Great.
For some reason, like the graphics options is not actually the graphics options. There's no graphics options in the game. You press Y and the graphics option screen and achievements unlock.
Amazing.
And then the one achievement you gotta play for real. It takes about 20 minutes, so it's like a 25-minute completion now instead of whatever hours it might have taken.
Good to know.
What's the ratio?
So it's going to be 1.1 soon enough.
Yeah,
dropping like crazy. I mean,
1.8.
It wasn't a popular game to begin with.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Yeah, so I finished that, and then I just went back to Super Hot. That's the game I was playing for a while. It's an old game, but the game I wanted to play for a very long time. I started because of the Easter treat target.
Yeah,
the word hot is in there. So
yeah.
I did that, and I've been playing that. I've been playing just. Well, every once in a while. I don't think it's gonna be it's something that I'm gonna complete pretty soon. It's gonna take a while.
Some of those challenges are really difficult.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take a while. I think I have the skills to beat the challenges. It's just gonna take a while for me to get there for sure. Yep. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, I've been just doing the small indie stuff like Light Up Life, Weeping Willow, those very, very short games to get some content out. So we're gonna have walkthroughs for all those games pretty soon on the channel, I think.
Fantastic. Make sure you go check them out on Hidden Levels. Cameron, what about you?
So Dead Island 2, I've been continuing on with Alex. And just trying to squeeze, like it's really good. Like I've kept on just going back to it as much as I can. I thought like the story was well paced, probably 6 to 8 hours, and then just a whole bunch of like side content. Go kill zombies, like you know what you're expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem I've ever had with the game is just the combat challenges, which I might have to do a new playthrough for. But at least Dead Island is the kind of game that you can go to a pit and just exploit an XP XP glitch and level up. So I don't think it's going to be the worst thing in the world to recover on. But yeah, 3 achievements left, and then I'm done. The only other game I've been playing for the week is, like I said before, the EB Games sale, $19 for a copy of Let's Sing ABBA and 2 microphones. To which point on Saturday morning I had a headache, and Percy was just like, "Can we play singing game?" Oh. And by that time I'm just like, "All right, cool, let's play singing game. Just let her give us a controller, let her pick through." And I think we sang like ABBA's not something I'm really familiar with.
Dancing Queen, Waterloo,
Waterloo we sang. Dancing Queen we sang. Fernando we didn't sing, but it's on there.
Mamma Mia
we sang.
SOS, Telephone.
What else was there? There was another.
Look, I'm Swedish. Okay, I love ABBA. Okay, yeah. I will fully admit to it.
Yeah, ABBA's great. Like in terms of like Let's Sing, it's like only 10 achievements long. There's a pretty damn good list in terms of like just play 50% of the song. Like you get to choose 5 platinum songs. I do. I think it was on there, maybe.
Money. Yeah, Super Troop, as Bulbasaur in the chat points out. Yeah, there's a bunch of I'm definitely gonna do an ABBA song for Song of the Week next. I think I'll think about that. Yeah. That's a good idea.
I'm now on the scout to try and find a cheap copy of Queen.
Yeah, okay.
Because if I can get her to sing Queen with me, I'm gonna be so happy. But there is a Let's Sing. I think there's like Let's Sing Queen, Let's Sing ABBA, the yearly editions, the country ones. I'm trying to think if they've done any other ones. Trying to think who the publisher is for Let's Sing. It just seems like the thing that you would assume would be under Ubisoft.
Yeah, like Just Dance or something, or Rocksmith.
It is Ravenscourt. Okay.
Yeah, Ravenscourt.
Yeah, no, it's it was a lot of fun, and it's just one of those things that's just super easy to pick up, get a few hundred G just straight off the bat. But other than that, it's been Alex twisting my arm to play Dead Island, as you would expect, and just singing.
Amazing. That's not too bad for a couple of days into the week.
Yeah.
All right. Normally we do leaderboard completions, but again, we don't really have a lot in that space at the moment, so we'll save them for next week. I do want to give an update on the word challenge, everyone's favorite competition that we do, where I come up with a game, give you a clue every week, and you have to guess in our Discord, discord.io/HallofGamers. You guess in the word challenge channel what the game is. Gift pops up, you win $20 New Zealand. Simple as that. So our first clue was that the game had more than 2 words in its title. It was developed by an Asian studio. It's part of a series that started on the original Xbox, and the most recent game in the series was in 2013. And we had quite a few good guesses, but the one who got it, he took 2 tries at it because he didn't get the full name in the first time, but he figured it out. Is a good friend, Just Jake, who guessed Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Double Agent, which is definitely more than 2 words, and I believe was developed by Ubisoft Shanghai, actually.
I wouldn't think it would have been Shanghai.
Yeah, right. Like most, like they did a couple of those. They did make it in conjunction with Ubisoft Milan as well, but okay. Shanghai is the first one listed on the list.
So what you're saying is cheating?
No, hey, look, TA says it was Ubisoft Shanghai. I'm going on that. So congratulations to Jake. If you'd like to join the competition, I will have a new clue for next week for a new game. So make sure you, like I said, join our Discord, discord.io/HallofGamers. We've got our word challenge channel here. We have a channel for the podcast. We have a channel for just regular chatting. We've got some gift stuff, some memes. We have a questions channel as well, which is where we source most of our questions for the show. So if you want to get in there and start a bit of discussion, we'll hop in there and give our opinions, because we're all opinionated arseholes.
It's the one thing true about Achievement Hunters, right?
100%. We definitely have opinions. And of course, we've also got our Patreon, patreon.com/HallofGamers. Basically, if you want to give us some money so we can basically keep the show going, we reinvest every dollar straight back into the show, whether it's for Zoom licensing, for hosting, for competitions, for equipment, any of that kind of stuff. We greatly appreciate all of our Patreons. So a huge thank you to Lee Howard, Mikhail KV, Chapters, Natolinator, Firehawk, Mad Lefty, G-Spaceman, Admiral Awesome, Keo, Happy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Mate Clown, Mark B, and McLovin Legend. Thank you so much, guys.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And like I said at the top of the show, if you can always come hang out with us live. Xbox Hall of Gamers is where we do the show live on Twitch. Easy enough to find us. We do the show usually Fridays and Saturdays. So come say hi and hang out in the chat like Bulbasaur and Sigma. And if you want to contact us in other ways, we've got our email address, hallofgamerspodcast@gmail.com, and Twitter is @hallofgamerspod. So yeah, send your questions in. And if you'd like to be on the show, like our wonderful guest Sangriaz here, let us know. We want to get members of the community, both within our community and the Achievement Hunting community as well, because we love getting people's opinions on how they play games, and also just how completely nuts we are and how we completely break everything about them. All right, well, I guess that's pretty much going to bring us into the show. Sangriaz, thank you again so much for joining us. It's been absolutely fantastic to have you on. Been a guest spot years in the making, so it's we really appreciate your time. Do you want to? I mean, now's the time to chill and tell everyone what you're doing and where to find you and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. It's been really wonderful chatting with you and listeners of the podcast. So that's great. And you can always find me at on Twitter, Sangriaz, Sangriaz. My channel, our channel, The Hidden Levels, is at youtube.com/The Hidden Levels, all one word. And it's so hard to search for these names.
For sure. I mean, again, if you want to look for him, he's on TA. He's number 7 on the list. You can't miss him. But definitely go and check out Hidden Levels. They've done guides for a lot of the stuff that especially a lot of the stuff in the indie space. So definitely go check him out. We love that stuff. Cameron, what about you?
You can find me as Shadowless Edge or Shadowless Edge _ Twitter, Twitch, TA. I'm going to another event this weekend. I'll be in DreamHack in Melbourne for a few days. I'm actually going to a cafe tomorrow that serves barbecue in a barbecue.
Okay.
Like they bring a barbecue to your table.
Like a small one or a big one?
Like a small, small for like 4 people.
Oh, okay.
But
okay. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So if you're an Aussie and you've seen the shovel of nachos on TikTok, that's the place I'm going.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we definitely want to see some pictures on the Discord because that sounds great.
100%.
And if you want to find me, I'm Neomaster on everything, True Achievements, Xbox, Discord. For whatever reason you want to get in touch, let me know. But that's going to wrap up episode 76. Thank you to all of our fine community, and thank you for listening. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.
Bye.